I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It's the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I am Matt Fox.
And we are in the palatial Podcast Your Voice studios.
We're still here.
The Man Cave Happy Hour suite.
Yes.
Enjoy it.
Yes.
Enjoy of all the suites here. The Man Cave Happy Hour suite is without a doubt my favorite.
It's the best one.
Because it has the biggest bar.
I thought you were going to say it had a big deck.
Yeah. The big old deck.
Speaking of which, you actually opened up your deck.
We did. We moved the furniture out and
let the summer shenanigans begin.
The hot tub never closes.
Well, that is true.
The sun never sets on the hot tub. But before we move any further, two orders of business. One, people.
Yes.
People. Thank you, people.
Yes.
Thank you. You people.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all those podcast things in all the podcast places.
Yeah.
We appreciate you tuning in and sharing the ride. Do us one more little itty bitty favor and tell a couple friends.
Yeah.
So there you go. So thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, those podcast things. And thanks to Joe Louis Bourbon. We're just a nice pour.
Yes.
Over some ice.
Yes, sir.
And we're having a little Joe Louis Bourbon sponsoring this episode and many others. Throughout COVID, it was crazy town on the Joe Louis. We did so many. I was looking back at stuff because you were talking about opening up the deck.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to do a broadcast on the deck because we had fun doing those during the pandemic.
We made the best New York sour on the deck with the Joe Louis Bourbon.
We did. So
that was fun.
But thanks to Joe Louis Bourbon for bringing these shenanigans. And today, what's on tap for today, Matt Fox?
Well, you and I were kind of going back and forth, and we're like, all right, we need to come up with something really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And my bright ideas sometimes don't pan out. Ask anyone, they'll tell you.
Right on.
But I've known you for a very long time, Jay.
Yes,
and there are always questions that you think about that you'd like to ask somebody, but
sure.
It may not be the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might be just too, what's the word? Personal?
Right.
But fuck that. So I want to ask you a whole bunch of questions, and you're going to ask me a whole bunch of questions.
Sure.
So we have 5 questions apiece, and there's no
It's the 5-question showdown with Joe Louis Bourbon.
Yes.
That's what I named the episode.
It's
the 5-question showdown. Matt.
Come on down.
This could very well be the end of the Man Cave. Let's get it right out in the open before we dive too much further. This could be all she wrote, mofo.
But yeah, no holds barred. But you still have the option to plead the 5th.
But there's all right. But there's I was looking at I was like trying to do some homework. It's the end of the school year.
Yes.
And
one more day.
I know
one more day.
And it's like.
Let me get it right. One more half day.
Yeah, one more half. So I'm like, it's I'm just having a week, so I'm like grading papers and it's crazy and packing up my classroom and just tucking things away because I do the yearbook newspaper broadcast, so I got to put away all the equipment and stuff for the summer. Make sure it's all locked down and safe. And anyway, so it's been nuts, and I've been grading papers, and I didn't write the 5 questions. I started looking and I got down a rabbit hole. Because I was like trying to get good questions, and then I came across these things. It's like questions not to ask, things that are socially unaccessible. There's this website, more.com. These are coming out of more.com and Reader's Digest.
When you were grading papers, what were you like doing? What Scantron folks do? C, and you're grading papers. C.
Man, I know.
C.
It's like English 12. It's like all research papers. So it's like these 12-page research papers that I got to give these kids feedback on so they can grow as individuals and writers and all that horse poo. So
welcome to summer school.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Folks.
So this sounds extraordinarily similar to the one I just graded last block.
C.
Oh my gosh.
C.
There's it's might be better off with the multiple choice. But there's a website.
Questions. Yes.
ReadersDigest.com.
Okay. Reader's Digest.
Reader's Digest.
What are we, 80 on the toilet?
Yeah, we're like right there. How to tell if a question is appropriate? Just yeah. You're cute. Why are you single?
Is that something you shouldn't
You
ask?
should not ask that.
You're cute.
Why don't you have kids yet?
Ooh.
You look so thin. Have you lost weight?
See, you asked me that.
I said, I didn't say you look so thin. I said, I believe you've lost weight.
Yeah, you asked me that question when I walked in. I'm like,
That's funny.
I got all of a sudden, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Is it not working?
No. It's
There's cameras all over me. So.
I know. You seem like you're doing well. How much money do you make?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's banker
no.
boy. That's not a good question, right?
No.
All right. So, all right, that one's just
So,
sad.
what brings me to the bank today? How much do you make?
Why do you look so tired?
Oh.
That just reminds me of the bird cage. What am I tired? Oh. All right, so who are you voting for?
Yeah, that's that. Over the past couple of years, that is a question that will get you in a lot of trouble.
Why don't you go out more?
Oh, shit.
Where is his dad, by the way?
Oh.
Are you a man or a woman?
Grace! She died 20 years ago.
How old are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you parking in that handicap spot? And why are you pregnant?
When's that baby due?
Yeah.
That's actually a throwback to Brian Regan. That was one of the questions that you just don't ask people.
And then there's the other one. How many people have you slept with?
Ooh.
Right, so that's another one that you don't social. And again, that's according to Reader's Digest and this more.com. Just those are the questions to socially inappropriate to ask.
Right.
So we won't ask any of those. But Matt, how long is your penis?
It's so funny you asked me that question because that's one of the questions I was going to write down for you. Do you go to the left?
So thank goodness we didn't break any Reader's Digest rules. So I figured I'd dive right in. That whole thing was just to say that.
Yeah. So do you bend to the left or to the right?
I'm a straight shooter, baby.
Oh my gosh! All right, I know where.
And again, to remind you, today's being brought to you. All right, sponsors are really happy. All right,
but here's the thing. That's the we've known each other for so long, and we want to have some fun. We want to ask some questions because I want folks to get to know Jamie.
Yeah.
And you want folks to get to know me.
Yeah.
So, because folks that have been listening since probably episode 1, there's these
right.
two middle-aged white guys, right?
Sure.
Are we allowed to say it? Yeah, we are. But we're just having fun. But
right.
we get to know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. We get to ask a lot of pointed and fun questions. But
we share things here and there.
We do.
But not as much.
No, so that's what tonight's going to be a little bit about, is getting to know the two of us.
So it's like that. I was saying I'm stressed out. Right,
yeah.
It's the end of the year. I'm feeling overworked and stressed, and it's like just crazy time trying to get kids across the finish line. And I went to the restroom right before we started.
Okay, did everything come out all right?
And yeah. But I realized I have my underpants on inside out.
How old are you?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask that question?
Right. So you figure after 3 days I'd notice.
Oh shit. You just turn them inside out when you utilize one.
So there's my first question for you, Matthew.
Yes.
What is the longest run for a pair of underpants for you?
Honestly?
1
day.
Oh, yeah?
I am a daily changing of underwear. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't turn them inside out at all. Once 1 day passes, yes. If I have to go commando because I got nothing left, I go commando.
Wow, fair play.
Yeah.
All right. I cannot answer that low of a number. I'm not into double digits or anything. But it's more than one, I can guarantee you that.
Oh, shit. All right. Ew.
Although, days are run into each other. And you wake up, you got 5 minutes to get to work. It's like, oh, well, as is. Are you sure you want to continue with this episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
man.
those are my two ridiculous questions.
So I'm gonna start off with the question with you.
Okay.
So you are you're a connoisseur. You like liquor and spirits and what have you.
Sure.
But of everything that you've ever tried, what's your favorite all-time liquor experience that you've had?
My favorite all-time liquor experience.
Yeah. It could have been a tasting. It could have been something where you were at on a vacation and you were just like, wow, this is great. I want to experience this again.
Yeah. I just I'm a one-trick pony, and
I already wrote the answer down here.
It was right outside of the Shannon Airport.
Shannon Airport in Ireland?
Yep, it closed for a while. I think it's back.
All right.
This was back in 1997.
Okay.
Dirty Nelly's is the bar.
Okay.
And it was the first pint of Guinness I had in Ireland.
See, that's a liquor experience.
And it was special. It was delightful. And actually, Dirty Nelly's, it's very much a touristy kind of destination. It's over in Shannon, near the airport. I don't know if that airport's running because it was gone. The Shannon Airport was gone for a while, and I think it might be back. But Dirty Nelly's is still there, and it's Durty, Dirty Nelly's.
Dirty
Dirty Nelly's. And so, but they do it up, and there's a proper way of pouring a Guinness.
Absolutely, there is.
And most people don't get it right. It's poured in two parts.
Yes.
There's a good 90-second wait in between the two pours.
You tilt the glass on the first pour,
tilt the glass.
And you fill it up till it's right at the rim, and then you stop pouring, and you let it settle for 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you pour it a second time.
I'm double checking my card here. What is it? Allow the pint to 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
90 seconds. Yeah.
So it settles.
1 to 2 minutes.
And then you finish the pour.
And then you finish the pour.
With the glass straight up and down.
Straight up and down. And while you do that, at Dirty Nelly's, and a lot of times if you take the glass and you move it while it's sitting horizontal, they draw a shamrock in it. And Dirty Nelly's, they write Dirty Nelly's, and they're good because they do a lot. Like I said, it's very much a tourist destination.
That's a skill.
Here's an interesting thing.
Go for it.
I think I've mentioned it on the show before, but where to get a well poured pint in the States, and it's a surprising place.
Is it in?
It's a chain. It's a chain.
Real Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. I mentioned this before.
Yeah.
I've had more correctly poured pints at Buffalo Wild Wings than incorrect ones, and then in most other places, even Irish bars. I'll go into something that's supposed to be this Irish pub or the pub whatever, pub this, pub that,
right?
And it's just that you just watch them and you're just
come on, man.
It does make a difference in the taste. It really, really does. It really does make a difference. It makes a tremendous difference in the presentation. And then having that pint on the island, I don't know if I was just enamored with being on the island, or if it's just fresher, or what. But the pints that I had on the island, and that very first one there at Dirty Nelly's, was glorious.
Thank you for the answer. That was a long-winded answer.
I told you this story to tell you that.
No, that's one of the things that why I wanted to ask some of these questions, because we've had great experiences together on the Man Cave, but your personal experience, it was at the bar, at the pub in Ireland with your first pour of Guinness.
Yeah.
Love that.
I was with my dad too.
Man.
So that was nice.
That's excellent.
So
was it just the two
family?
of you?
No,
the family.
The family was there, yeah. So, but yeah, no, that was
thanks
that
for
was
sharing.
cool. Yeah. What about you? What's your favorite memorable, liquor, beer, wine experience?
Experience. It'd have to be, and it's wine. And I'm not a big wine guy, but every so often I'll get into a bottle of wine. And it was actually in 2018.
Sometimes they even make it out.
But it was 2018.
Okay.
I was at a winery in Virginia for my mother's wedding.
Oh.
Right? And I was actually DJing my mother's wedding.
Okay.
Right?
That's
Because
great.
we've DJed so many parties and what have you.
Sure.
We do them for family members, but my own mother was like, will you DJ the wedding? It'd be so much fun.
Oh.
And we were at the Effingham Manor in Virginia. And Effingham.
All right.
Effingham.
All right.
And this bottle of wine that was being passed around was called the King's Ransom.
Ooh.
And it was all their reds, all the red blends mixed into one. And they called it the King's Ransom. And it was absolutely fantastic. that was my favorite because of the experience of having your mother's wedding to my dad and what have you. It was a great experience to have with the bottle of wine. It really was.
Right on.
But have you ever introduced yourself at a wedding reception while you're in the bridal party? On your wireless microphone?
I don't know if I've done that. I don't have that. No.
That was kind of fun too.
That was, yeah. And here comes Matt Fox. Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's me.
Who's that talking? Oh, it's me.
Matt Fox and his family. All right. But it was absolutely brilliant. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, just remember that wine all night long. My tongue was so damn purple at the end of that night.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
As was everybody else's for that matter. But it was a blast. It really was.
Oh, I love it.
So, okay, here we go. You are a teacher. How long have you been teaching now?
I've been at Fraser for 18 years.
Wow.
I was just like, because I said I do the yearbook, right? So
Okay.
English, 12th grade English, and the newspaper and broadcast and yearbook. And we just rearranged a couple things in my room, and I had a kid. I'm like, all right, I think there's too many duplicate things in here. Clean this up for me. Just keep one of every year up here for me. Go far back as you can, and we'll put the rest in storage.
Oh, wow.
And but I was looking, it was like where I took over, and I was like, oh, crap. This book, when it comes in, will be number 18 in the series for me. And then I was at an alternative school for 2 years before that,
right,
with troubled and at-risk youths.
Right.
And then I was like a full-time substitute for like a year and a half before that.
So it sounds like teaching was kind
22,
of
23.
Teaching has kind of been your career path.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But your favorite teacher that had the biggest significant impact on you to do what you want to do today.
Oh, to do what I want to do today.
Yeah.
It
It doesn't have to be a teacher, whoever.
So, well, both of my parents were teachers. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, my dad was a band director, and my mom was
That I know. I do. Your dad played the drums.
Yeah,
Right.
he was the band director, and my mom was the librarian. It's the plot for The Music Man, basically. 76 trombone. We got trouble. All right, we're slipping into singing show tunes. But both
you're slipping into singing show tunes.
Yeah. But both of my parents were teachers, so they had a good life. They lived well. Not in poverty, not in the biggest mansion.
There was always food on the table.
But so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that was always something that inspired me, and I thought they were cool people. But a teacher that I had, I think that I wasn't a solid student. I don't know what my problem was. What is your problem anyway? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Wayne. We're doing good. Thank you.
So
your parents?
Yeah. So I wasn't really a solid student. My first A that I got was in like 5th grade.
Wow.
I don't know, because I had bad hearing.
What?
Yep. And I also had a little bit of a speech impediment, and I needed glasses, and I didn't get glasses till I was in the 8th grade. So I had a lot of things working against me on the learning curve, and so I wasn't a stellar student. But the first A I ever got was in science in 5th grade with Miss Tucci. And I did well in the class because I enjoyed her as a teacher.
Yeah.
And so that, so that was, yeah. And
Nice.
then in high school, there was a drama teacher, Louise Petrick, and I enjoyed the heck out of her, too.
And you're in your, and I hate to say this, you're in your mid-50s, and you still remember their names, right? That's impressive. Those are the folks that make an impact on you
They do.
in your lifetime, right? And why you want to be who you are today.
So do you have any teachers that touched you?
Are you going to keep...
Show me on this doll where they touched you. No, but any teachers that...
So are you just going to repeat the questions I ask you right back to me? Is that how this is going to work tonight?
That's how I'm going with.
All right, fair enough. See, I was kind of prepared for that. So teacher-wise, there was a gentleman in my high school. His name is Mr. Gay, Guay, and he was our drama instructor. And he also taught
Yeah,
theater.
he was.
Yeah, he also taught theater. But he had
A theater teacher, gay.
Yes, Guay.
Really?
Yes, wonderful, wonderful human.
I'm
being.
messing with you.
Yes.
I'm just being really culturally insensitive.
Yeah, it's all good. He would appreciate that.
Kodak.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Wayno, for that. Much better. Yes.
Kodak.
Thank you.
So
here's the thing. Mr. Gay.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
We'll just pull this all down and put it back up.
So I'm glad I fixed it so everyone can hear this. Mr. Gay actually taught me the art of how to smile and sing without looking like you're in pain. And how he kind of phrased it was, pretend somebody's tickling your balls, if you will, so you can smile.
I knew tickling your balls were going to come into play at some point. I didn't bring this doll out for nothing.
But it was just, come on, Matt, let's go.
That'll get you smiling.
But he absolutely he turned me around. He's what he did, and he taught me a very important life. Every now and then.
Sorry.
No, he actually taught me a very valuable life lesson. If you don't put the work into what you want to accomplish,
sure,
you're going to suffer the consequences. And I did. I suffered some consequences. I actually was removed from a show because of my grades. Because not being a good student, like you were I wasn't a very good student in my junior and senior year.
Right.
Until the middle part of my senior year is when I decided to become a good student.
Okay.
But he taught me a very important life lesson. You put the work into it, you're going to get out what you put into it. What it comes down to. So,
I should make a note of that. I should tell my kids that.
Yeah, I thank Mr. Gay for a lot of things.
It's funny. I had a student teacher, and he was just gay. No, I'm kidding. Aaron Gay, Guay.
Yes.
I had a student teacher. Did you meet Aaron?
I think I may have.
Yeah, because we've hung out a couple times socially too. I did his wedding. I DJ'd his wedding.
Okay.
And but he was gay too.
All right.
He's a twin. He's a twin brother that is also in the teaching field. Aaron is teaching now. He was in the Hamtramck system. I don't know where he went from there. He was at Birmingham. He was at Birmingham for a little bit, and then he was at Hamtramck. I don't know where he is. But yeah,
teachers have a huge impact on our lives, whether we know it at that point in time or not.
Right.
Because you reflect back on it, you're like, oh my God, that's actually the biggest life lesson that I've been able to experience. Is why I am who I am today.
So there's our assistant superintendent of curriculum or some horse crap title, whatever the buffoon has.
When's your tenure up?
He just put his notice in and he's transferring to another district. So I can call that. I can call that pinhead anything I want.
Keep going.
Like he listens, but hey, if he does, anyway. See you later, pinhead. He quit. He takes a job. It's like, this is close to my house. See ya.
Oh, see, that's not the reason to leave something. If you're anyway, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. So, but he kind of bailed. But no, it's funny. So, but he lived in Grosse Pointe, and he sent a really nice email because there was a new writer at the Grosse Pointe News, I think it's called, and she wrote this editorial talking about her love of writing and how she loves this new position here at the Grosse Pointe News, and she's super excited to be covering things in Grosse Pointe. And then I started talking about her passion for writing and her passion for work. And she said the people that influenced me the most were my high school teachers, and she named 3 teachers specifically, but she didn't name the school. But there was who were the 3? It was Norgrove, Flanagan, and another one. And so the superintendent reading it he was like, oh my God. He was like, well, there's a lot of Flanagans, he goes, there's not a lot of Flanagan Norgrove combos. And then whatever the third one was, I forget who the third teacher was. But it was this really nice letter, and we had no idea that she had written it, but he had found it and forwarded it to like all my other bosses who are still with our district and are amazingly wonderful human beings, each and every last one of them.
Nice. There you go.
Zippy's on his way, but
everyone else is great.
Everyone, they're wonderful human beings. Love them. Just astounding.
All right, so we've mentioned this before. There it is. Keep talking.
And they know me.
Yeah.
They know that it's you gotta if we can't laugh at you, we're going to laugh at you. So just all
deal.
right.
Just deal.
Just deal.
Just deal with
That's
it.
all. That's just Jamie. He says crap like that.
So we've mentioned a number of times that we both DJ weddings, events, and what have you. But one thing that we really don't talk too much about is our concert going experiences.
Yeah.
Right? Because we love going to see live bands
Yes.
and live acts. So
Yes.
I want to know the favorite band or concert that you have ever attended, and when was it?
God, I don't even know. There's been so many great things.
That's why I'm asking the question, because there have been so many great things. Which one sticks in your brain?
So many great things.
It wakes you up at night.
No, there's a couple of Springsteen shows have been great. You and I, and our friend Tool, Pat Akerley, joined us to see Springsteen, and we had a beautiful brotherhood day.
Yes, we did.
And that was wonderful. That was a really great one.
Yes, it was. You're at the Palace.
Yeah. So there's this artist that I really dig, and his name is Luca Bloom, and he's an Irish cat. Mm-hmm. He actually wrote a song, "The City of Chicago," which is a ginormous Irish hit performed by his brother, Christy Moore. Anyway, so but yeah, Luca wrote that song. Barry, his name's Barry Moore. But there was another Irish artist that was relatively successful, so he took on the moniker Luca, which comes from the Suzanne Vega song.
Oh,
and then
name
Bloom.
is Luca.
Yep, and then the Bloom is from James Joyce's Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. Anyway, so he played it. He was playing at the Blind Pig in Ann Arbor, and it's just one guy with an acoustic guitar, and the amount of sound he could get out of that guitar it just filled the room, and the room was packed with people, and he just commanded the room. So just one dude and that's his jam, is just one dude with an acoustic guitar. So that was one of the best ones. And then the other one is another mildly obscure artist. His name's Peter Himmelman. And the man is a genius.
I have the biggest song list of Peter Himmelman in my repertoire of music because you had like every song he had ever done.
Like 15 of his albums and when I lent you the music library. So yeah, Peter Hillman. But he was playing at it was the Ark in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think if he was by himself. I think he was by himself too. And he was moving back and forth between playing the acoustic and on the piano. And at the beginning of the night, he passed out pieces of paper, and then like the little 5-pack of crayons you get at the big boy, right? The little kitty 5-pack of crayons. He's like, everybody draw something. He goes, whatever, just whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking.
Draw something?
Draw something for me. Make me some art. Make me a drawing. And he's like, in like probably 5, 6, 7 songs in, he collected the artwork. Okay. And then he was like holding them up and looking at them. And then he was like writing songs about the artwork, just ad lib.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's like genius. And he's just like kicking out these things. It was just so much fun. And it was so unique to that day. Because it's about these drawings that the people in this building did. It was just a riot.
I don't know if it's a dog or a horse.
And then but it was much better than that. But it was pretty much.
I'm sure it was.
Pretty much, yes. I failed art in 3rd grade. Yes, like he picked out a couple people. He's funny like that. And then another show he did. He played Industry.
What? In Pontiac?
He played Industry in Pontiac, and it's like so he had the Ark pretty full. If anybody's familiar with the Detroit venues, the Ark is a small, probably 250 person venue. It's a small venue, and he's playing Industry, which holds probably 1,500, 2,000 people.
Right.
And so all night he's like joking. He's like, all right, he goes, I got a lot of relatives. They're on a bus. They're on their way here. He goes, if you were curious why we're in such a cavernous establishment, he goes, because there's the whole Himmelman mass is coming. He doesn't really. It's like, so he's up there playing, and I'm there, and I got my Brooks leather, my punk rock Brooks Police leather on, painted up, with the punk rock paintings and buttons and stuff. And he was talking about, he's on stage and he starts talking. He goes, I got to work on my image. He goes, He goes, I need something new. He goes, this building is telling me this building is telling me I need something different. He goes, I need to look like that guy.
Oh, shit.
And he's pointing at me. He goes, can we trade jackets for the night? And I'm like, hell yeah.
That's great.
So he calls me up on stage and we trade jackets. And he puts it on. He's like, oh my gosh. He goes, and this is when I was skinny. He's like, it's such a heavy jacket for such a skinny man. He goes, how do you live in this? I'm going to do it. It's for my image. I got to do it.
That's great.
So because it was winter, and so in my Brooks, I had the lining in the Brooks, which makes it heavy. If people, it's that punk rock, the Ramones, black leather jacket. So anyway,
you still sport
I
that
still wear it. Colleen laughs at me.
me.
She goes, you can't zip that up. And just a spider, I zip it up. I'm like, I can. She's like, it's very, very tight. I go, it is very, very tight, but I can zip it up. So you zip it up, lady.
Don't you mean?
It's very, very tight. It's very tight.
So those were some of my absolute, then David Bowie and Nine Inch Nails. Nine Inch Nails at the Latin Quarter.
I did see that show. Yes.
There's been a lot. That first Lollapalooza was just ridiculous. It was a ridiculous experience.
That was the mud fight, wasn't it?
I got to talk to Dave Grohl, though. It was like right after, what's his face offed himself, and so that was an interesting thing.
You mean Mr. Cobain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So right after Courtney killed him.
Hello, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist.
So, but just want to remind you that we're being brought to you today by Joe Louis Bourbon.
So that's the other day,
I was sitting right here. I forgot to make a mention of that, but we want to thank Joe Louis because we got the pour. I need a fresh. I think Daddy might need a fresh pour.
I need a fresh pour.
So we were gonna get that over there. And do you want more ice? Are you good?
I would love some more ice.
All right, we'll grab a more.
Couple
I
of
like
rocks.
That's neat. So I like. Isn't that neat? All right,
It's
so I'll grab
neat.
some ice while you. So I rambled on.
Yes, you did.
About my favorite concert experience. What about you? What was what's the pinnacle of concert experience for you?
Can I share two?
I shared like 6, so I'm gonna allow you 2. Yeah,
Right, So we're going to go back to the 90s. That's when I was actually interning for 89X. And I was helping out with the morning show, then got into a little bit of the promotional side of the radio
Was that with
station.
Kelly Brown or Mikey Mike? Or?
It was Kelly Brown and Greg Gnip.
And Gnip was on the mornings then, too?
Yep.
He did mornings there?
He did mornings with Kelly Brown, and we had an absolute blast. I was answering phones, getting coffee, doing everything that good interns do.
I always stopped at the Tim Hortons because it was Mikey Mike Harrison, and then Kelly Brown joined Mikey Mike.
Yeah.
And I interned when Mikey was there by himself, and then just when Kelly started moving in, then I just, I was like, oh, this is crazy, going to Canada every morning. We weren't talking about me enough, Matthew. I had to pull it back to me, but it was always stopping at the Tim Hortons.
I can't tell you how many double
through.
doubles I had to get, being an intern. However, being in that arena, in that industry, I was actually fortunate enough to go and see a number of acts, if you will. And it wasn't really a concert; it was more of an interview that we had in the studio. It was with Filter, the band Filter. Hey, man,
nice shot.
Right. So we actually interviewed them, and they are actually really intelligent young guys. And here I am, this little
young whippersnapper.
I'm this little 21 punk kid, and we're sitting there and we're talking to Filter of all things. So that was kind of like my moment. But then I started getting into the music, and being in the clubs as you were helping me along and understanding music, right. I became very a big fan of two gentlemen by the name of the Chemical Brothers.
Oh,
and
you are.
I was able to see them twice. I saw them down at in Pontiac when it was that church that used to be there.
Oh yeah,
that got changed
Clutch
to
Cargos,
Clutch Cargos, and a tribe called.
They turned it back into a church again.
They did,
Yeah,
but a tribe called Quest.
Oh,
opened for them.
Nice
for the
double
Chemical
bill.
Brothers. It was a great double bill, but the Chemical Brothers came on, and I was just enthralled. And then I had the opportunity to see them again at the State Theater before it became the Fillmore. And we actually planted ourselves right in front of the speakers, and I didn't hear anything for the next week after that. But just the vibe of the place and the music itself, it's electronic and it's just in your face, but then it's laid back at the same time. And that's where my music taste gravitates today.
Right.
But then we fast forward a few months, and Prodigy came into town at the State Theater.
All right.
And a gentleman by the name of Aaron Thompson.
Oh,
I'm going to call him out. He and I
Yeah.
were dating two ladies at one point in time.
I thought just you and he were dating
No.
two ladies. Careful where you put that comma, bro.
I'm sorry, man. Okay, Mr. English major. But he and I were dating two ladies
all right,
who
fair
were
play.
friends.
All right.
And they took us to the Chemical Brothers show, or I'm sorry, Prodigy at the State Theater. And we were sitting on the mezzanine. If you've ever been to the State Theater, there's a mezzanine where the bar is at, right?
She's very angry.
And
very angry.
the ceiling for the mezzanine is kind of low to the point where you can actually just touch it with your hands. I'm putting my hands up, and I can just touch it with my hands.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
When Prodigy came out on the stage, they came out to their song Firestarter.
Oh, my God.
And the place effing erupted to the point where the building was actually moving.
Oh, my God.
And we looked up, and the mezzanine, the ceiling in the mezzanine was actually bouncing.
Oh, good Lord.
In a way that you could see it visually.
Yeah.
To the point where I felt like I was going to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they just came out and just kicked everyone's ass right when they came out. But then you fast forward another couple years, and there was a small group that you might know of called Rage Against the Machine.
More angry young man.
And they were at Kobo. And the main floor opened up, and people rushed the main floor, and we were walking down the steps to go actually backstage to potentially interview the band.
Uh-huh.
But they came out on stage instead. And before all that, everybody rushed the main floor. All the bouncers could do was just throw elbows and try to knock people down. We were walking down the steps to go backstage, and next thing I know, the testosterone level in that building went up 1,000%. I felt like I was going to die again. That's my most memorable experiences with concerts.
It's every time we're just about to die.
But then the last one I'll share with you is when I didn't feel like I was going to die. And this was at the Fox Theater.
I'm afraid my computer's going to die.
Oh, no, I plugged it in.
No, I just got a little message saying, "Look, I found this old picture of you," and I'm like, "Oh, I should probably click on that."
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna shut those down.
So, yeah,
Don't click on those.
the last show that I saw was just a few years back, and it was with Aaron again.
Ah,
So we went from angry.
were you guys still dating?
No.
Okay.
We went from angry music to a band called Sigur Rós out of Iceland,
Yeah.
right? And we sat down in seats.
They were just in town last week.
They were. And I missed it, and I was very upset. But I sat down and see. This is like 2018 or something like that. Sat down and we just listened, and it was laid back, and it was beautiful and instrumental and everything. We were enthralled.
Were you holding hands a little bit?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't.
Just checking.
No,
I'll
hold your hand, but no.
You,
But yeah,
me,
but
and
to go
Hootie.
from all that
I'm
angry
sorry.
stuff,
Yeah.
that angry stuff,
Yeah.
to Sigur Rós and just sitting back and just relaxing and enjoying the artistry and what they do. So.
I'm sorry. I get a little of this Joe Louis Bourbon in me, and I get a little sassy.
Just keep
I
your
get a
pants
little,
on. Just keep your pants on.
I got to take them off because I got to turn my underwear right side out.
Jesus Christ.
I contemplated it. I was in the restroom. I'm like, well, they've been on all day this way. Probably flipping them's probably not a good idea at this point.
Jesus Cristo.
So I can
Come on,
flip
man.
them for tomorrow.
Well, fine. As long as you don't have a mean streak going up your back end, you're fine. So speaking of mean streaks,
Oh, mercy.
so do you have a laminated card in your wallet with a list of 5 names that you have a pass on if you were to ever meet them in your lifetime? No, you don't have a laminated
The
card.
list?
The list.
No.
You don't have a Ross list. Then?
No. If I did, who would be on it?
Yeah.
Oh. See, remember, I see. Here's the thing. I get all cocky because I've been doing radio for as long as I've been teaching. 20, 25 years, 30 years. And then we've been doing the Man Cave for like 5 years. We've been doing this for 5 years. Come October, it'll be 5 years.
It's been a blast.
Yeah,
I think this is the last episode.
This
yeah.
It could have been. We cleaned it. It's all right. We got another great Joe Louis Bourbon episode.
Yes, we
on
do.
tap.
Augie's going to be with us too.
August couldn't make it tonight. But we're gonna do. Matt and I are gonna do a cook-off, and we're gonna be.
Are you dodging the question?
No.
Okay.
And we're gonna do a cook-off, and we're each gonna make a sauce.
with the JLB.
barbecue sauce or some sort of sauce or a marinade or whatever, some sort of cooking accessory with the Joe Louis Bourbon. We're gonna have a cook-off. We're gonna do chicken on the grill at my house, and then we're gonna have our partners and others taste it and pick a winner for us. But we're going to do a little cooking with Joe Louis Bourbon.
Yep.
So thanks, Joe. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to getting everybody together. But I joke and I say, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. We've been doing this 5 years.
Yeah.
Colleen, she never listens. I can say whatever the hell I want. And then
one time.
Earlier this year, I was on that rant. I don't know, maybe I say that like all the time.
You do.
I do say it because she never does. I mean, like even when I was on the pop station here in town and the Animal Talk show and the City of Champions podcast I do, she didn't listen to any ever, right? And then people are like, oh, we go to like my son plays hockey and I give him shout outs. I'm like, it's Colin and all the boys at Sinclair Shores, Bantam, hockey, blah, 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 on the radio. And they're like, oh, Jamie was talking about the boys. Colin's, I don't listen to that. I got to listen to them at home. And so I said, she's not going to listen to this. Sure as crap. And it was one that we had this young lady.
The Buffalo Bourbon Babe.
Buffalo Bourbon Babe.
Yeah.
And she's a very attractive young lady. And she's an Instagram influencer because she's really, really gorgeous. But she's a huge fan of bourbon, and we just had a wonderful time talking to her. And she's like, oh, the Buffalo Bourbon Babe. I'm like, that's the one you listen to. 5 years. That's the one you pick. So, but I can say whatever the hell I want because she's not gonna listen to this.
She learned.
It'll be another 5 years before she listens to another one.
So I'll ask this question in 5 years.
Anyway, yeah, but no, who's on my list? The 1980s Linda Carter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd
even take because I just saw her in the Wonder Woman remake. I'm still crushing on Linda Carter.
There you go.
Yeah, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman from the 80s TV show.
Yep.
Oh, forget about it.
You spin me around.
Forget about it. I don't know. That's it.
All right.
I'm one trick pony.
All right.
Scully from the X-Files.
Really? I can't remember her name.
Scully. Yeah, Anderson.
Yeah. Oh.
And then
Not Pamela. No.
And then Wilma Flintstone.
Oh, all right.
And B. Arthur.
B. Arthur.
Yeah. So
All
those
right.
are my.
That's your pass. That's your pass. Is that what you're gonna go
That's
with?
what I'm going with.
That's quite the eclectic mix.
That's a little messed up.
You went tune on that, man.
I think I might. I need a session with the Motor City hypnotist after that response.
So why Wilma?
You haven't lived till you had your tires rotated by a redheaded woman.
Shit.
That's a Springsteen song.
Yes, it is.
It is. All right. So.
Wow. That's impressive.
All right. This is Wilma and Betty. Okay. Let's just get really freaky.
All right. Fair.
Fair enough. Because that was really only 4. So yeah, throw Betty into the mix too. So, but no, Linda Carter for sure, and then other pretty girls, whatever.
All right. I was just curious.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have a card. You never really thought about it.
I will now. Colleen's out of town for 2 weeks.
Hey Linda, can I interest you in a hot tub time machine?
So I got a date with TV Land later.
Yeah,
some reruns of.
No, you are an incredibly loyal man, and that's one of the things I appreciate about you the most because the loyalty is there. So I appreciate you for that.
So what about you? Is there? I mean, the wish list.
The wish list.
I'm trying to. Selma Hayek and Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
Forget about him. All right.
Kathy Ireland.
Oh, is that
that's on the list for me?
Yeah,
yes, it would be a Kathy Ireland. Yes.
Yeah.
And then of course the Cindy Crawford because
Yeah.
I'm in my mid-40s. So.
Sure. Cindy's a attractive lady.
Yep. So that's
if
about it for me.
If she was flirtatious with you, you'd say,
how
you doing?
I'd have a conversation and be a gentleman and not be an asshole.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Sandra Bullock.
Nice.
That's my last one.
Okay. Fair enough.
Had to replace the cartoons.
She actually was.
It was a little freaky.
She was on an interview. I think she was on Jimmy Kimmel. Sandra Bullock and there was another gentleman there who was on Magic Mike. Who's the guy from Magic Mike? One of the guys there. But she was like, "Oh, I saw it," and I was like, "Oh no!" And she's like putting her leg up to the side. She's like, "Oh no!" And she's like, "Yeah, when women put their legs up to the side and bend and they say, 'Oh no,' they're not saying just 'Oh no,' they're saying it in a different connotation."
Fair enough.
Channing Tatum, that's who she was.
Channing Tatum.
So.
That's it.
But yeah, so I got one more question for you. And you've been to the casino.
I love the way it's just the way you said that. It reminds me of Dr. Yes, I've been, but Dr. Brad from Animal Talk. And we did this bit, and he was like, "You've been to Vegas, you've gone to whorehouses." It's a remake of Who's on First.
I love that.
But it's with if you Google hard enough, you'll find DJ
if you
Jamie.
what hard enough?
Google.
Oh, okay.
If you search hard enough, you can find this audio track of Who's on First. But it's instead of baseball players, it's workers at a brothel.
It's brilliant, is what it is.
And instead of third base, it's anal sex, and it's uproarious. And the fun thing about it was because Dr. Brad on the Animal Talk show, he would write these insane things, and there's nothing you could ever really say. And now that we're doing podcasts, you can cuss a little bit more, yeah. And I've been maintaining myself. You've been swearing like a sailor this whole time. I don't understand why.
It's called
Joe Louis Bourbon. But anyway, but he would give me things cold, and I would just have to read them. And we did this, and he goes, "Just start reading it." He goes, "You'll know what it is once we get into it." I'm like,
right.
"All right." So you can hear me kind of laughing and busting up as we're doing it. But I thought I was hitting it okay, and then we tried. It's all right. We got to do it again. So I'm not laughing as much.
And it wasn't as good.
No, it wasn't. So that first take is the one that I saved, and it's the one that if you search it hard enough, you can find it. But you said that you've gone, and that all led from you going. You've gone to the casino.
Yeah. So.
And that's because you go to ball games, right? It's Who's on First. But all right, so yes, I've gone to casinos.
So you have $5,000.
I got $5,000. All right, I'm calling up Linda Carter and Wilma Flintstone. What's the question?
Just roll our own bones on over here, and I'll dig up. Anyways, so you have $5,000.
Yeah,
and you put it all on black, and you win. First thing that you do for yourself with that. Besides calling Linda Carter.
Yeah, call Linda Carter and Wilma Flintstone. A big windfall. Push it all back in. Bet it again on red.
Really? You're gonna play the odds?
No, I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
You know how terrible I am at gambling?
Yeah, I know. Apparently, I am too because I'm pushing it back in. And the casino's like, thank God. Whew. Dodged the bullet.
You just put $5,000 back. You just walked out with $5,000,
Yeah.
and you just won it. You weren't expecting it. You just put that $5,000 back in.
Right. Do another $5 on that. So, but how much? Well, you said I won. What do I win? Do I win?
So you bet it all on black. You just double your money.
Oh, it's just double your money.
Yeah.
So $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, throw a chip to the dealer.
Mm-hmm. But what do you do for yourself?
And get a nice pour
of what?
Of a brilliant
Guinness?
Joe Louis Bourbon.
This episode brought to you by Joe Louis Bourbon.
No, I would get myself. I would go to the bar and find a nice fine pour.
Nice.
Whatever. There's something ridiculous behind the bar. But if it's Vegas, man, a ridiculous pour could easily be $5,000.
Exactly.
Well, hey, that was yummy.
You got an ounce.
So, I'm more I'll pay off my mortgage. It's like
I'll save it.
I'm gonna pay down my mortgage. It's like I'm so boring.
No, you're not. You're pragmatic, is what it is.
Yeah, it would be something like that. Tip the server there, tip the dealer, and get a nice pour.
Nice
within reason, because
right.
you could spend $5,000. I've seen just ridiculous prices on things
yes.
in Vegas. So, I don't know. What about you? What would you do if you hit the? I didn't see it, and you know more than me that you just simply double your money on that bet. So,
What would I do for myself first thing?
what would you do when you hit that?
Depends on where I'm at in my life. I'll be honest with you. So if I have kids and I want them to be happy, so I might throw them a couple bucks. But for myself, I'd probably go get a manicure and a pedicure.
Manicure and a pedicure.
Get a mani and a pedi. Just pamper yourself. What?
A little
100?
Brazilian while you're there.
No,
little like a
no.
just a little
Nothing off the
freshen
top.
it up a little bit.
No.
Kelly Clark.
I'm too wussy for that.
Oh my God.
Too much of a wuss. No, I'd get a mani pedi and just pamper myself. I love a good mani pedi. And there's
Obviously
nothing wrong
never
with that.
have.
There's nothing wrong with the guy getting a manicure and a pedicure.
No, it sounds fantastic.
It is. It's it's relaxing. You just sit back and have a good time. Get the nice little the shin rub and the it's good. It
Yeah.
works. What's wrong with that?
No, nothing at all.
I
That's
know.
brilliant.
No, it's just
Me,
that-
I'm drinking, so it's like
Well, I didn't say I wasn't drinking while I was
getting
getting
the mani and the patty. Yeah, there you go.
But what do you get? Wine.
Yeah.
All right. As long as the king's ransom, I'm happy.
Ooh, very nice.
So 5 questions.
That's
Asked and answered.
Yeah, that's we meandered a bit.
Nah,
But
we're
that's
good.
just the man cave. That's just how we do
That's
it.
what happens when you are hanging out in the man cave. It's just
So-
never know where the conversation is going to take you.
Oh, that's it. Just over a nice, and that's the point of the man cave, right? Is we're learning about bourbons and learning how to enjoy them, learning what goes into making them, so we can sit back and enjoy a bourbon and then just enjoy all the other stuff that goes with it.
Right.
So we want to thank Joe Louis Bourbon for actually sponsoring some episodes and allowing us to do this in this journey of exploration that we do. There's episodes that they're all out of order. It's like we've recorded a bunch of stuff lately, and it's they're getting out there. The stuff with Highclere Castle and Lord Carnarvon, and Sin Coburn and Dissident Cigars,
And Jeremy over at Founders.
and then we had the Founders 2 episodes. Those ones aren't out yet,
I know,
so
but
I don't know
they're
if this is coming out before or after that. The Shaker and Spoon folks, and our guest bartender, that just came out, and so we appreciate it. All these people, and we're meeting all these wonderful people.
So that episode was Shaker and Spoon.
Yeah,
That was so much fun because we had Joe Louis Bourbon, we had Tanya from Atlanta. She came in via the StreamYard. And she was in a bar with that episode, which was a lot of fun because of the atmosphere behind her. But then we had the folks from Shaker and Spoon that are in New York. And then we had one of their bartenders come into the show as well, but he was in Mexico.
Yeah, he was.
He
was in Tulum.
Yeah, we had Tulum, Mexico. We had Atlanta. We had New York and Michigan, all on the same show. And that's where the Man Cave has really taken us, is really to reach out to as many folks as possible to learn their story.
You were digging through the demographics,
and
you had noticed some interesting stuff about the listenership.
I did. So so we use. Can I share that?
Yeah.
But so Buzzsprout is the hosting service that we utilize for all of the shows through Podcast Your Voice. And I was actually looking at our Man Cave numbers, and we've had 90 some downloads in the past 30 days.
All right.
73 of them came from the U.S. In America, and the balance of them came out of Europe. So
wow.
we are an international podcast. So folks across the pond are listening to the Man Cave, and they're learning with us, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
I so enjoy that. Who would have thought that this little idea that you had, walking down the street with a
Mr.
cigar,
Cranky Pants,
could get us downloads in Europe over the past so many days.
And that brings us back full circle to thanks for listening here stateside, here over on the island in the European continent, and all parts in between. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all those podcast things in all the podcast places.
Yes.
Joe Louis Bourbon, joelouisbourbon.com, joelouisspirits.com. Find out more about where you can find Joe. Where is Joe? Joe is all over the place.
Yeah, you go to the website and you type in your zip code, and it'll tell you where it's at.
Wayne said is Lord Carnarvon listening over on the island there. So
thanks, Wayne.
It could very well be.
Wayne actually he and I had a conversation. He's like, I don't know why I don't get in there. because he listens all the time. But
Wayne, you got to come for when we're cooking on the deck, and you can help judge.
There you go.
The barbecue.
Yep.
I wanted to invite a few people.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're listening on the Facebook or anywhere,
you want to come
send
and
us
try some chicken?
Send us a message, and if you want to come while we're cooking out, we'll make it a thing.
Yeah.
Party on the deck at my house. Bring your trunks. We got the hot tub.
Yep.
And Matt's going to be dressed in a Wilma Flintstone costume.
You hope.
That's messed up. I don't care who we are. All right, there you go. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Till next time. Cheers.
Cheers.